Also kind of makes you look at this whole Skyzo situation a little bit more, doesn't it?
It does.
How Skyzo was part of the roster for Cycle 3, and they won it all. And now here he is in Cycle 4. Even if they don't win it all, he's honestly played very, very well. So, to say the least, it kind of even puts even more pressure on Chessie, not going to lie, as far as when he steps in. But
It puts a lot of pressure on Chessie, and SG's been playing so well today. But it also makes you think like they won the last cycle, and then right after that they announced this basically that they'd be having this switch, and then it kind of makes a lot of people, myself included, wonder like, but you were playing so well with these guys, and they're proving that again today. Obviously they have some other reasons as to why they want Chessie, but nonetheless, you can't discredit the amount of effort and just sheer skill that Skyzo is playing with today for the rest of his team that he's supporting. And just everybody, honestly, in the whole SG lineup is playing fantastically. Now, tdM, they played extremely well so far, especially in Game 1, which looked like a huge push coming out for TDM, or for Stay Green.
They played it very well.
But ultimately, they haven't been able to get the ball rolling since then. And we're in the final game as they just load in.
This is not only going to be our 7th game total today, but actually when you think about it, this is State Green's 7th game today. They've been a lot along the ride this whole journey. So here we are. It has started. We need to jump in, Trev. Our final game of the grand final, State Green versus Trademark Esports. Let's go. This is it. Trademark Legion side, State Green Hellborn side. Again, it is early morning in the European region. What is it now? Probably getting close to 2 in the morning, I believe. Yeah, so it's 8 o'clock here, 5 Pacific. I know time's all over the world. 2 in the morning, but hey, we're gamers. These guys are gamers. Let's be honest. Not the biggest deal in the world. And you're playing for cycle number 4, HoN Tour Diamond, man. This is it. All right, the blind band's coming out. We got Ophelia Parasite from Trademark. Wild Soul Zephyr. We've seen Zephyr quite a bit, actually, blind band here. I want to say by Stay Green, actually. Keeper of the Force is going to be the first lock, though.
Keeper of the Force is going to be the first lock. You can maybe assume that Tempest will be in there sometime, but maybe not right now. But yeah, I believe Swindlemelons has banned out Zephyr in I don't want all these games, or a vast majority of them. Just doesn't want to deal with the Birdman, whether he's first pick or second pick. There's a Tempest lock. And one more lock remaining for him, and it's actually going to be Fade. So, but yeah, I've just been very, very impressed with how SG's played today.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's hard to not think about it, but I do know that tdM, when they take losses, they take them hard. They've lost twice in a row. They were just 1 game away from from winning this whole grand finals, and now with 2 games back-to-back won by State Greens, they're looking in a good position to take this this final game. And it's got down to the wire, and this is the 2nd cycle in a row now where we've had the full games played. If you remember, actually, Stay Green taking out QSQ last week, or the last cycle. I believe that went to 5 games as well. So.
You know, this is just hitting me too. Stay Green perseveres, man. I know you pointed this out last game, but okay, so here they are on the verge of coming back from being down 2-0 in the best of the 5. The last series, they were down 1-0 to Lions. They won the next 2 games. You just mentioned Q Squad. They were actually down 2-1 after being up 1-0 as a result from the winners bracket. I mean, this team knows how to persevere, is simply put. So, again, here we are, tdM versus State Green. This is it. So, okay, we know all about that. Let's talk about the game itself. We got the lock pool, Keeper of the Force the first, Tempest Fade the follow, Pebbles Rally locked up here by tdM, and then Moon Queen going to be the final lock coming out for State Green. Plague Order and Draconis. So far the bands, but we do see the Rally in there coming out. I know Trademark Esports definitely has run Rally a couple of times here.
So is Stay Green, actually. I know they've been practicing them or him in scrims recently. And who actually locked it? It was tdM.
Yeah.
So I gotta say though, I want to say that when tdM has run Rally, they haven't had a great success with him, to be honest. So I don't know the numbers on that, but I have a feeling that when they've run him, they haven't always won with him. So just one thing to note there. But for some reason, I don't expect him to get picked, to be honest. Keeper will get picked up first by tdM, then Tempest plus, I want to say, Pebbles or Fade, or even could be that Moon Queen right there.
Yeah.
And then, one of the other Fade, Moon Queen, or Pebbles to be picked up right there by tdM. So bands coming out, Plague Rider, Draconis, Tundra, Silhouette, Aluna, and the final band from Swindlemelons, it's actually going to be that Engineer. So he first picked it last time on the Legion side. tdM Minuts, he's right-clicking Wretched Hag, right-clicking Nymphora before, and we'll see what he goes with.
It is going to be Hag. Quick answer right there. I was right-clicking it, as you said, and sure enough, decides to pick it up. So Stay Green, they'll get their first 2 pickups now. Here, of course, being on the Hellborn side. So you mentioned that engineer band on top of the Luna, for that matter. So kind of Glacius as that tier 1 of support heroes that a lot of teams seem to value is really left over. But then, of course, your Nymphora, your Empath, and whatnot have definitely popped up as well. So Swindlemelons has a choice, and again, this is it. So you talk about momentum, man. I mean, SG has to have it all right now. They really do. And, you know, it would be bittersweet to come this close after making the comeback at the same time and then fall short. So that would suck. But, again, you can't think of that. This is it. It's a one-game series now at this point for both teams, for that matter. And play to win. Play to win the game, as that one coach once said. Feral Torturer is going to be picked up here by Stay Green. So, Feral Torturer. Interesting. I know, again, Stay Green, they love them some Torturer, especially Swindle.
Yeah, and this is a similar thing, though, where we saw, which game was this? Was this, I want to say 2 games ago, where we saw actually tdM take up Pharaoh, even though when they knew that they were going to run the Tempest. So, yeah, they had Tempest first launch, and they picked Pharaoh. And it's kind of a preventative measure to yourself, for yourself, when you pick up that Tempest, because he is such a good counter to Tempest, as well as a hero like, say, Andromeda. So for tdM, speaking of Andromeda, it would be a fantastic pick here to not only get people out of that Pharaoh ultimate, but also out of the Tempest ultimate, which you can presume Stay Green's going to take after you take that Keeper of the Forest out in the first pick from the lockpick phase. So they actually go with Empath, so they're not going to go with Master. Well, I don't say Master of Arms picked right there, but they're not going to go with Andromeda. Master of Arms Empath picked up here from tdM.
See, now I wonder, this puts tdM in an interesting spot. Are they going to try to value that Moon Queen in there, hoping that she's left over? Or are they going to go, again, actually with the Empath pickup, I guess. So they got a Master of Arms that probably is going to be more of a carry style Master of Arms. So they're going to try to bust that out themselves. Yeah. And then you even have Wretched Hag on top of that, of course. So Stay Green here. Now, they could get that Moon Queen, as you mentioned, from that lock pool. But, you know, we'll get a lot of information here as far as if that's a possibility. As you always have, you know, your Mage Bane, your Dark Lady, your Forsaken, as I keep going back to. Just a lot of powerful options still left over. But, again, Moon Queen is powerful herself, proving that time and time. But
yeah, Master of Arms is pretty nice in the fact that you can kind of mask your last pick as far as carry. Like, how hard do you want your next pick, or how hard of a carry do you want your next pick to be? Either Moon Queen, Pebbles, or Fade. Like, it's going to be one of those options. So Master of Arms, he can be played as a hard carry role. He can also be played as kind of like the not-so-hard carry, or like your secondary carry. In the mid lane with like Empath, and then you can. So it kind of masks their pick, so to speak. So they're not really showing too much right now. So I like that in a sense. SG, they have a lot of options right here. 14 seconds remaining in their reserve time.
Yeah, interesting. You know, we brought this up earlier. How Magmus hasn't seen, in fact, all today. We haven't seen Magmus today. This is now our 7th game in total. So it seems like he hasn't been popping up. But ooh, look at that.
Huh?
Really? So where does this put you for SG now?
I would so go Tempest Keeper.
I know, that's yeah. Huh.
I would so go Tempest Keeper. Yeah.
Now your lanes would be okay. They are going to go that in the end. Yeah, it's like okay, we'll take this. So they don't now. What this did do, of course, now this means they don't have that hard carry necessarily like the Moon Queen, but you gave them Tempest Keeper, so. Yeah, there is a good and bad, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, you make a good point. They're going to have to end this early for sure. But they have lots of early game and aggression with lots and lots of push. So tdM secure in the late game. But, yeah, I'm very curious to see. So for the last pick, I'm assuming perhaps a Pebbles pickup, because that would secure a very, very strong tri-lane if they want, with like a second support Master of Arms. If they wanted to like tri-lane Master of Arms, Empath, Pebbles, solo short Moon Queen. They go with the Fade. So it's the similar idea, I think. They could also go dual lanes with Wretched Hag Suicide, so something like Fade MOA mid, Empath Moon Queen bottom, and then Wretched Hag is the Suicide top, which would actually probably be the smartest thing for tdM.
Ugh. Looks like Fitska unfortunately DC'd, so they're not going to be able to swap around heroes, and as a result of that, we'll have to get a remake here. So the suspense will have to stay a little bit longer, Trev.
Yep.
As we are going to have a remake, it looks like, going into what is our final game, of course. Between Trademark Esports and Stay Green. So, again, been a long day, but hey, it's been some fine heroes in New Earth, I must say. This has definitely been an awesome day for HoN, and competitive HoN at that matter. So, gonna go ahead and there we go. It looks like okay back in the lobby. I'm good. Okay. Is this actually the lobby, though? I don't know if it is. I guess it is. Yeah, we are still there. All right, so, yeah, wait for a couple of the players to get back. Again, Fitske, apparently he DC'd, so obviously you hope it's nothing too serious.
Yep.
And comes back up, and we can resume this game as a result of that.
But you do bring a good point that ST's lineup, they don't really have that hard carry or the late game, really, but they have such strong team fight, which I think is going to overshadow or just overlook the strength of the late game of tdM. So, well, I don't know. It goes both ways, I suppose.
The other thing that I kind of noticed too, in the picks, were the fact that Sigrid, again, they love Torture. We know that, but I'm guessing with that lineup that they have, that's going to be more of a support Torture. They usually like to run it more of a carry and farming Torture, like Swinemons, like I said, loves to play. Probably not going to be the case this game, though, with the lineup that they have. I mean, they got the Magmus Torture. So unless you're planning to go pure Ward Bridge support Magmus, which I very highly doubt, probably will be Torture taking that role. So,
yeah, the other thing, too, is where do you lane the Magmus Torture lane? Like, do you go mid? I don't think Magmus Torture in a mid lane is honestly that strong.
Yeah.
I just don't think it has quite enough damage to take on another dual lane, which is presumably going to be Master of Arms and what was the other hero? Oh, Fade. Okay, well, okay. I thought for sure. I thought it might have been like a dual range lane in mid, so it actually could do well mid. But they might want to just secure farm onto Magma since he is pretty much like the one hero that will get insured farm on their team. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what their lanes are going to be. I don't know for sure.
Yeah. You made the good point how they kind of masked with the Master of Arms pick, it really did mask the fact that if you're Stay Green, you probably weren't expecting them to pick a Moon Queen. So you picked up the Magmus last, figuring that you could have had the Moon Queen with one of your two picks in that lock pool. But obviously the snap pick, really the first pick Moon Queen, then all of a sudden Stay Green's like, wait a second, that's not what we saw coming. Okay, we'll go ahead and take Keeper Tempest. So
yeah,
again, it's there are positives and negatives for sure. It could be a big risk here for tdM with that said, but
yeah. Well, the thing is too is like them picking up Keeper Tempest. There wasn't really like a late game carry available, other than there was Pebbles and Fade in there as well.
That's
so it's
my
not
point.
like,
yeah, at that time, you don't really have an option.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I go back to the point you made earlier about the Master of Arms, how it was kind of masking the fact that Stay Green might not have expected that. So no, we didn't expect it. So okay, it looks like again. Well, obviously, we are waiting on Fitske here to rejoin the lobby again. Once that, in fact, there you go. Okay, I was hoping for the best, and sure enough, we get it. So he is actually joined, and as soon as they all ready up, we'll be good. So you can of course see on your screen where we're standing, and just waiting for the tdM crew to finish reading up and resume into what is our final game. So again, the suspense still there. Haven't even got started yet, unfortunately, but it happens. Okay, there you go.
And we get to draft again.
We get drafting. What is this, like the third or fourth time today?
That's the second time.
I will say, I do got to give a shout out to the teams for the most part. I mean, other than today, it actually has been pretty damn good lately. For cycle number 3, I think, and for most of cycle 4, it's been pretty damn good as far as lack of pauses, lack of remakes and whatnot. It seems like it's been flowing pretty well. And again, it's just ultimately the product is just that much better for the players, for the spectators, for us, for the viewers. I mean, it's just so much better. So I do want to give a shout out to the teams. I know there's kind of been that, especially for the first couple cycles. There were some bumpy roads there, to say the least. But Fitske with his first load, of course, restarting the game. Always waiting on Fitske. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like we interviewed Fitske, of course, on a recent podcast, and he was, of course, very happy with the fact that he's now playing for Trademark. I know we've made the point, and he pointed out too that he just wanted to take the game a lot more seriously than Domain of Pain honestly did as a team. I mean, Emperor's made the points that he wanted that team to be very serious and compete and practice a lot, but facts are facts. They haven't been. So I think it's safe to say Fitske might have got a little bit frustrated with that. And, well, he found a nice home, though, in tdM, that's for sure. Double Rampage blind band coming out here. Okay, so there we go. Looks like everything's fine as far as the locks go. Into the banning stage. Just don't ban heroes that were picked, obviously.
Yep. And what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to talk a little bit about the Domain of Pain and all that jazz. I guess we have a little bit of time.
I wonder if.
Well, I think the biggest issue is like some of the members on Domain of Pain just simply don't play. And I think that was Fitz's cue to kind of, he was getting a little bit frustrated, and he was putting a lot of time and effort, more so than some of the members, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, things move on.
It's unfortunate more so for Domain of Pain, because again, Fitz,
obviously,
really one of the best support players out there. I mean, we've known this for a long time, and if anything, it is their loss, honestly. So
yep.
Here we go, though. Looks like everything is coming out nicely here, as far as these picks go. So obviously tdM, either the Fader Master of Arms here, then you got the Keeper Tempest, and then the other one. So there's a fake. Here comes the Keeper Tempest, and then the Master of Arms to finish things off. So it looks like it is all setting up to finally happen here.
I think it might be, a Wretched Hag Suicide, and then a dual lane mid with Fade MOA, and then Empath Moon Queen bottom against what's presumably going to be that Suicide Keeper. What I think SG should do is actually throw the Magmus Torturer top against Wretched Hag if he is going to go top, because first of all, if you send them mid, it's not guaranteed that they're going to win their lane. That's for sure. You don't know. Fade MOA is still going to be pretty damn strong. Also, actually, you know what? Magmus is being readied up here by Skyzo.
Yeah.
So that tells me it's going to be a farming Torturer. But regardless of that fact, I still stand by that they should send that lane top. Guarantee farm on the Torturer. Because if you send Pharaoh top against a Wretched Hag solo, Wretched Hag actually should do very, very well against a solo Pharaoh. So you don't want... The last thing you want with this lineup is all of your lanes to lose. You don't want that.
Of course, yeah, that would be horrendous. You're right, though. So Skies are going to be playing the Magmus. Again, that leads you to believe that he's going to be focusing a majority of his farm, if not all of it, on just getting those wards up at the very least. You mentioned Slick's playing Torturer. Is it a level
Ring of the Teacher up on
It is Pharaoh. Z-Frig with the Ring of Teacher. Here we go. Will the Legion team be suspicious? They are headed towards the bottom lane as a team. This, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work, because
kind of risky.
Yeah, I feel tdM knows the possibility of something being up. Of course, they see the Pharaoh over there, and just with the lineup that they have, our final game of the HoN Tour Grand Finals for cycle number 4 could come down to this. Honestly, if this is spotted out, depending on how this finishes, we do see it. They go into the Conqueror Pit. Obviously, Pharaoh tanking it with the Hellfire, but look at tdM. They are aware, or at least they have an idea. They're going to scout it out most likely. And again, as you say, Tralf, the jig is up. Magmus is he's going to be fine. So
yeah, and it's actually better for Stay Green that it got spotted out now than later.
Of course, yeah.
The only bad thing is now you have a Tempest running around with the Ring of the Teacher. Like, you're going to lose out on a lot of farm, unfortunately. Now they had a good idea because they actually spawned the minions from Keeper, and I believe they used that to get the minions spawn the elementals from Tempest. But he is going to be now in his jungle with that Ring of the Teacher, and he won't be able to use many clarities to get that mana back up from Tempest. So for his elemental. So he's going to have to ferry himself some regen as time goes by. But they only have a walking courier at the moment, so that's going to pose a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. Again, you are right. They are lucky in the sense that it was spotted as early as it was, because not only did it, they didn't have to use a lot of regen and everything as you're putting out, but they were able to go back to base and easily regen in time with the well before it really mattered. So, okay, so into the laning phase we go here between these two teams. So, sure, what's done is done. I don't think it's going to be the biggest of impacts, but it is obviously something to keep in mind. That's what happened here in this game. So, again, I go back to, though, Magmus, playing what appears to be basically the pure ward bitch, going to just take care of that and putting the emphasis on you don't really care about getting him a portal key. I mean, do you find that to be a problem? Will that be a problem for Stay Green if they don't really prioritize him getting a portal key?
Oh, for Magmus?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the biggest deal, honestly. Like, they're already putting some aggression onto Wretched Hag. She actually has to blink away, use the health potion. But, no, I don't think that's a big deal. I think they're actually going to get maybe some more tower pushes with Torturer farming. And because they don't like Torturer, he's actually, I've said this before, actually quite strong in the late game if you get items up onto him.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it is kind of interesting in the sense that with such an early game-oriented team that you would maybe want more farm onto Magmus, but I think this decision actually is fine.
This is a new Torture skin, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. Magmus may stun. No, he's out of mana. He doesn't have enough mana for stun. But yeah, I think this is a new Torture skin. At least I haven't seen it before. So yeah, I always like pointing that out. So I always find that fun. Magnus, he's taking a lot of pressure himself. Obviously, you know, Magnus, let's be honest, isn't necessarily the most ideal laning support in the sense that, well, the obvious one is melee. And two, especially that lava surge, as powerful as it can be early on, it's not the greatest. The range is horrible and whatnot, so he takes a lot of harassment himself, and we'll need to be careful about that, of course. He has a rev, though, and they are going to go to try to counter the Sword of Sight. He should be able to do it. Okay, yeah, he's going to get it.
That must have been pretty close. I want to do this little K arrow business.
Yeah, that is close. About 770 is what I'm getting.
And you got to think, too, because more teams are placing the ward on the right side because so many counters come out on the left side. And so this was placed on the right side, and I believe if it was placed on the standard side, it might not have picked it up. But, yeah, mid lane, Pharaoh taking a lot of damage. Will he be okay? He does have 2 health potions to get the top one right now.
Oh,
no. Timed out.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, he was running back to base, and actually, I looked at his life pool. I was like, he's fine. I'm kind of curious. And there we see the DC message. So he obviously reconnects. So again, just a kind of a hiccup there. He has had points where he was getting high latency, as we noticed earlier. So yeah, unfortunately, he had the issue right there. But he is going to come back, so he will make his way back to lane. But obviously, this allows Noob G. Let's be honest, he really was getting free farm in the most part, anyways. But
yeah, it's not game breaking, but it is annoying.
It sucks.
Zai taking some more damage there, as the build for Slicks is going to be that chain reaction and the torment, or sorry, the agonizing bonds. So it does a little bit more damage at a far range. Yeah, one of the things that's unfortunate for Magma specifically is he didn't get very many regen items because he's, I think he bought the wards to start as well. So he's not going to be able to, the courier does get upgraded, I believe. I want to maybe say by Tempest, I'm not 100% sure, but does finally get upgraded. And they're able to keep Wretched Hag at bay just a little bit. More action in mid. Not too much is going to happen with that. Faye does have his Burning Shadows up in another 3 seconds if they want to keep spamming that. What was delivered here for Zaya? Another health potion plus the completed Amulet of the Exile. So he's still getting some decent farm and some good levels actually up in this top lane.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so yeah, you mentioned the build on Torturer. So obviously, again, passing up the Impalement, which could definitely help with some push for this HoN team, which they very likely look to do. But in the game, has a little bit better kill potential on the harassment like you were talking about. So Slicks is farming very nicely here at the top lane. In fact, you look at the stats, he is 21 and 8 overall. Speaking of elsewhere being farmed, Moon Queen is also doing very good as you would expect. Noob G is 22 and 9 down here at the bottom line, being babysat by Empath against that solo, really suicide keeper of the force. So there's a Ring of the Teacher and actually Helm of the Victim purchased right there. Once again, more harassment on Wretched Hag at the top lane, but she is level 4 and she ultimately is staying alive, so that's the good news for Zai. And so Slicks, despite him doing his best to try to keep her boxed out and harassed, ain't enough. Zai's able to get some levels. Haystrom picked up by Pharaoh, by the way.
Yeah.
And he goes right back to the middle lane. He's going to be jumped in the middle lane as a result of kind of going in right there. He should be fine, of course, but using the haste to harass them a little bit.
Yeah, well, they love to really camp these runes. Seafreak on Tempest was camping the top rune at the same time. But he doesn't have his Ring of Sorcery just yet. As I said, it kind of sucks as a Tempest player to have your Ring of Sorcery, delayed like that because you purchased a Ring of the Teacher early on. So as a result, he hasn't been able to have the best jungle in the world. It's actually not bad considering he did start with that Ring of the Teacher. But he won't be able to spawn the next. Oh, he will once he gets that. What is that called? The Pickle Brain delivered to him, which is right about now. So, and another clarity right there. But Zai, how's he doing up in the top lane? He's been kept at bay a little bit. Has 12 CS under his belt. Maybe looking to gank this mid lane, actually. He does this a lot.
Yeah, he's obviously that Suicide Hag, not really getting too much done at the top lane. So they're going to come mid, but Pharaoh's positioning is pretty good. He sees something coming. He's going to be Burning Shadow. There's the charge shot on top of that. Wretched Hag jumps in, the Thunder Scream and everything else. Yes, the final auto attack from Midas on Master of Arms will secure the Bloodlust kill. So sure enough, Wretched Hag roams mid and helps definitely set up the Bloodlust kill. Notice one of Melons there playing the Pharaoh. So good support by him, at least getting some assist gold out of that. And again, just making the best of a situation right there. It was Zai specifically, so good dive. Again, Pharaoh, he knew something was up. He really felt it. I don't know if he actually saw it coming. I wasn't paying attention to that, but he knew something was up, but in the end, it just didn't matter.
Yeah, some interesting plays here at the bottom lane. Keeper is still pulling the lane with his, whatever you want to call these, animated trees. Fitska actually tried to pull this camp of Wolf Commanders to get it to re-aggro to that neutral camp.
Yeah.
But then KSU actually pulled the spawn bottom, or like a little bit downwards to stop that aggro. and as a result, still has lane control now. So good job by Keizu, actually.
Yeah, that's very smart, definitely, on his part. So looking back at Torture, Slicks again is farming very well up here. 333 gold per minute now and counting. He actually already has Steam Boots, Mystic Vest, and Mana Battery. He's got the good build-up items, and then you have Tempest, actually. You got to keep Z-Freak in mind. 310 GPM himself, so yeah, good news there for Stay Green. But you also, at the same time, you have Fade and Moon Queen are also up there competing for the best in farm themselves. So yeah, Fade, Limp is actually doing very well, 335 GPM here herself. And then again, Moon Queen at around 340 or so.
You do have, like I said, amazing team fight coming out from Stay Green, though. Whispering Hell purchase before even boots on Noob G.
Wow.
Very, very interesting. The Steam Boots completed onto Limp now, but you do have amazing team fight coming out from Stay Green. And I'm still surprised that Tempest actually is farming so well. He's level 11. And again, it did have a little bit of a delay.
Wait, level 11?
Or did I say 11? Sorry, level 7. It rhymes with 11.
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay.
I'm thinking of 7-11. Thinking big gulps.
Gotcha. Don't blame you. Slurpees, man.
I know. But he's level 7. Did have a little bit of a delayed Ring of Sorcery, but still is doing quite well. And like I said, their team fight is going to be awesome.
Fade is, again, continuing to do well. There's that is intriguing, though, the Whispering Helm Ring of the Teacher with no boots build here on Noob G. Of course, once he gets the boots, definitely expect the Ghost Marchers top lane. I thought there was Wretched Hack there for some reason, but no, they were just collapsing to go for a push. In the meantime, in the middle lane, Wretched Hack is actually in the middle lane, and that's why, because they're setting up a gank on Pharaoh, and once again, it is successful. So Swinamel's going down. Now, the top lane, it should probably be successful here in terms of the push. Unless, I mean, actually, tdM, they might be able to defend this if they can port in here. But this is going to be a lot of pressure. You see the Steam Bath even being used by Mammoth at level 2 Steam Bath. It is going to fall. We do have Wretched Hack nearby, but no, she blinks backwards. And it will be a tower kill, at least, coming out for Stay Green.
And early tower kills are especially important for this team because they are an early game-oriented team. Not to mention, Magnus is playing full support, and he needs this tower gold to get some items up because he's buying wards and whatnot. So he needs this tower gold desperately. They might still press this issue bottom, or top lane, I should say, as they're still staying here.
Yeah, Farrell's actually joining them. He just tormented Soul and spotted a couple of heroes, even hit Master of Arms right there. But he is going to be joining them. He is level 6 too, so important to keep in mind there if he wants to Wrath of the Pharaoh in. But it looks like Stay Green is not going to really push the issue. The Minotaur over here on the Ancients, this actually could be killed if they want to, and that could cause issues. Actually, the stun attempt coming out from the Minotaur, I'm going to miss right there and just goes kind of in reset mode. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Torture thinking about diving. Will we see Wrath of the Pharaoh, perhaps? Yes, a great catch from Pharaoh right there. Fade will be caught. Can he actually get away from this? The Moon Finale off to the side activated, but it does absolutely nothing, and Limp will fall. So Moon Queen activating the ultimate even.
Yeah.
And then he just ran away, so.
Well, he has. I mean, this is a hero with one of the highest base movement speeds in the game, but when you don't have boots, you still don't run that fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's very, very unfortunate. Big pick off in mid, and like I said, more tower pushes are really, really going to help this SG team. So it just means more gold for specifically Magnus, who obviously wasn't farming, so he's not going to have a portal key anytime soon. And not to say that that's like what's going to change the game for them or be a big step for them, but just getting some basic items up to a power supply, more wards, and then of course items for the rest of his team.
Yeah. Ooh, a triple stack jungle here, and actually Torture comes over. He's going to try to finish it off. He has the Agonizing Bonds. He's going to snipe out there. But in the end, the Legion team comes in. In fact, the Invis Fade, he's going to start charging up the Wing Couriers here. Oh, he might try to snipe that. No, he's not. He may go for an opening elsewhere. Granted, he is by himself currently. So it might not be the smartest idea. The team support is running in here. You got Master of Arms and Moon Queen nearby. So the Tempest are great. Burning Shadow stun by Limp right there. Will it be enough for a kill? Creeper the 4 is a little bit tanky with that Nature's Veil especially, and actually he is going to be fine. Now, the Hellborn team, they do have all 5 here themselves, remember. So
yeah.
Got to be careful also if you're tdM. So the pick attempt unsuccessful, but here we go to the bottom lane. And this is, again, Stay Green agrees with you, Trout. They know they need to push, and it's exactly what they're going to continue to do here.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty smart by them. Wretched Hag trying to do some counter pushing of her own, and we'll get some damage done into this tower, but not all that much. And what's up?
Keizu's Pickled Brain is sitting here on the ground. He forgot to pick it back up.
Where's it?
I really hope he picks it up. If you look at my screen right here. It's just sitting there. He took it off because he was using bottle charges. But I think he might have just simply forgotten it, or that he's just keeping it there and hoping it'll still be there. But
no, he just forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keizu,
I hope he gets
that's
it.
1,000 gold. Or is it 900 now? It's changed so much. What is it now? It's,
okay, maybe
1,000, right?
he'll use that bottle charge, give it back, and then go pick it up again. But I would not risk that, honestly. I would maybe keep it much closer to me. He gives the bottle back.
That's exactly what he's doing.
And he's walking over. So, I mean, the idea of being able to just keep it, I don't know. I would have put my hatchet down, okay? Like
a little bit less of a big deal.
I would have put my hatchet down.
Yeah. Maybe it was just something in case he forgot. And,
could have been.
And it just happened to go back to it, realizing it. But anyways, tower denied the top lane, actually. So good job by SG right there. Granted, it is dead. They denied, and they now have 3 tower kills to the 1 so far, which, again, was just denied right there. So Moon Queen, Noob G, despite the kind of the misplay with the ultimate, he is continuing to farm very, very well. 375 gold per minute and counting. He actually, ooh, look at that. He's going for Steam Boots, by the way, not going to Ghost Marchers. Going to Steam Boots right here, it looks like, as he does have 1,300 more gold saved up. So how's Fade been progressing? She started off very well. It has slowed down a little bit here for Lim.
Yeah.
And that is definitely noticeable.
She's going to the bottom rune, picks up an illusion. Not really able to do anything with that too much. Keep the Force, I believe he was spotted out as he's taking the small camp right here. He's going to have to use that Nature's Veil quickly. Here comes the opening with the Burning Shadows, but there is no detection up on anyone around.
Yeah.
In fact, nobody has anything, so he's able to just use that Nature's Veil and be fine.
Yeah, and again, it was also a case, you have a Pharaoh who is nearby, you have a Magnus who is charging in, so really, if you're trademark, it's like, is it worth using everything to try to maybe kill this Keeper? So I had to play the safe route, and now we see Stay Green. Where's Torture at? He must have, oh wow, yeah, 2,500 gold being pulled up on Slicks here. What are you expecting? I mean,
expect the unexpected from this guy,
so
honestly.
I'm
not going to give any predictions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking maybe Shrunken Head, but Torture needs some mana, man. He needs regen, he needs some mana. Okay, woo, Sacrificial Stone actually just purchased on him, so.
Well, interesting that we picked that up, and then also the Shield of the 5 is picked up by Keeper, but those don't stack, I believe.
Yeah, the Plated Greaves,
plus the Sackstone, so I would have preferred to see
right,
something like Ghost Marchers or even just Steam Boots onto Keeper. So it's kind of a waste of gold, in my opinion. Yeah, it does give you some extra armor, but against what at this point? Like, it's kind of negligible. I guess for the bounces from Moon Queen later, but yeah, I would have preferred to see a different boot picked up there. Not the biggest deal in the world, but
yeah, no, it's
just one thing to know.
It's good, definitely good, and I think you are right. It does not stack as far as the armor bonus. So, actually, no Plated Greaves were delivered. No Sacrificial Stone either, and the Courier's being sent back to base. Oh, they forgot to put it on there. That sucks. That really sucks, actually. Torture had a Sacrificial Stone purchase, but it's still not going to be delivered. But anyways, they get the tower kill, so I guess not the biggest deal in the world. And they are going to fall back. Now, meanwhile, at the top lane, you got Wretched Hag and Moon Queen who are up here. And they were actually pushing in the tower. You see Moon Queen, she actually now has a Mighty Blade after finishing those Steam Boots.
So. Yeah, that sucks, considering also the fact you made the note of Slicks is the type of player that when we was playing Moon Queen, he actually, even though he was 1,000 yards away from walking over to the Hungry Spirit to complete his Whispering Helm, had it delivered by the Courier. So doesn't like to waste his time, but had to go back all the way to base to complete that Sackstone.
Yeah.
So kind of sucks for him. As time is of the essence of them. Again, this is one of those games where, you know, they're kind of racing against the clock, so to speak.
Yep.
As they don't have the late game, but they do. I will say, even though they don't have the late game, they have amazing team fight from start to finish. So they have that going for them at least. And Magnus, he has managed to pull up 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have any build-up items, and I think he does actually need them in this case because his mana pool is so damn low.
Yeah, at the same time, those mana items are a little bit less pricey. So if you can pool up that 2150 and at least get the portal key, then you can just try to get a Talisman of the Exile after that, perhaps, and try to get the mana pool up there. So we'll see what route Skies goes. But I mean, the fact that he has 1,300 gold saved up is pretty damn good. And that's the thing I was stressing earlier, how he might not get a portal key if ever because of him playing really that pure support. But working out not too shabby. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. Here we go for another push at the top lane. Meanwhile, ports are actually coming out. Pharaoh is thinking about maybe using the Wrath of the Pharaoh. He has a Haste Rune activated as well. But no, Wretched Hag going to blink, and that'll be that. I saw TPs also happening, so I thought we had a fight coming for sure, but nope, just a little bit of a back and forth, and in the end, not really going to be a push either. So
yeah, I really do feel that SG has to make a move, though. And it could also be they need to counter ward just a little bit more. A ward was placed here at the bottom lane, or bottom river, I should say, from Fitsuke. They counter the one mid, but I feel like they could actually, if they get that ward counter, they could take Kongor very, very quickly. Impalement's starting to get leveled up. It's level 2 right now. Here's a gank attempt on the MOA.
Yeah, he's dead if they do this right. I mean, are they going to go? Okay, there's the Agonizing Bonds, the chain reactions. I was going to say, when are they going to go? And actually, okay, Root is finally going to be used. Yeah, might as well be killed. So
he wanted to try to use it, or he wanted to try to get the kill without using the root. So that was a smart play by Keizu.
Yeah, just wanted to see if it could happen. Obviously didn't, but in the end they get the kill. And now this top tower is going to start dropping pretty quickly. Stay Green, definitely aggressive up top. Trademark Esports going to let it fall again. This is what, now the 5th tower kill in favor of Stay Green. The gold lead is starting to go up a little bit here, now up to 3,500. Again, just like the first game, you have a case of gold lead for one team, but the experience lead for the other team. Obviously, for Trademark Esports, having about 2,000 experience lead, but now it looks like we could possibly see that Shrunken Head route on Torturer. So like I was saying, I mean, he needs some at least early mana. He got the Sacrificial Stone. That does help with that. May prioritize now on the Shrunken Head. And the 1,200 gold saved up after the Mighty Blade. So we'll see how that goes for him.
Yeah, I really feel like some counter warding and then just Kongor. Okay, they're just walking right into Kongor, but there's a ward placed right on top of the ward that Fiske has already placed. So tdM should have an idea that Kongor might be in the works. As you can see kind of the outskirts of it. You can't see inside the pit, but you know, with the you can see actually the minions walking in and out like that. So they should have an idea of what's going on.
Yep, tdM is definitely heading over in that direction at least. Ooh, look at that. What is it even called? The Glowstone. Glowstone picked up by Torture. We rarely see it, so I had to think about it for a second. But Glowstone purchased by Torture, so actually could be going for the Staff of the Master build. How about that? It
could be. It could also just be
Doesn't need to be, you're right.
Could also just be for life and regen, and then just go for the Shrunken Head after that. Because it is actually a very cost-effective item.
Yeah.
Giving lots of mana and HP, something that Torture desperately needs both of.
Okay.
So,
yeah, so I guess not to get too ahead of myself, but it is the makeup of a Staff of the
I mean,
Master,
he still could go for that. Like, it's not a bad pickup in my opinion. But I actually think that the Shrunken Head is very necessary this game. That's of the utmost importance.
Master of Arms, I'm not sure what order he did it in, but he has a Soul Scream Ring, and actually now he does have a major totem, so it's kind of like I'm curious to see what he finishes first. If you assume he's going to finish an Energizer with that Soul Scream Ring, and then maybe make a tablet, I guess, with the major totem. Again, he's kind of playing the support Master of Arms here.
Could buy a Gnomes right now if he wanted to. We never see that item picked up anymore.
True. Yeah, damn, where did that go, man?
I don't know.
Gnomes just disappeared. Ooh, Magmus, 2,100 gold on Magmus. He's going to actually help take out Ancients here, and there you go. He has a portal key now.
Yeah.
That is big. Now, you mentioned he doesn't have really the mana pool just yet, but, you know, the farms up a little bit more. God, I think it's 45 for the Talisman of the Exile, and actually you're not too shabby. So
I will say the good thing, though, is you have 2 separate Ring of Sorceries on your team. So even though he doesn't have a high base pool, he still will be able to use his stun once or twice before he even has to use that ultimate. So that's good for him. But does he have enough for everything? I want to see this. The mana cost 175, 140, so 315.
That's 385.
Yeah, he does not have enough. He does not have enough to use everything right away.
Oops. Yeah, I mean, that kind of sucks, because if he does channel the Eruption and then jump with the Portal Key, and all of a sudden you can't Lava Surge, it's like, well, that kind of takes a lot away from it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the Lava Surge is a big part of Mag. There's some, you know, in a lot of cases, Lava Surge is even more important than the Eruption. But anyways, they go back to Kongor, does Stay Green. They do got it pretty well warded, but again, this Fiske ward of sight is actually still here.
Yeah.
You talked about it, how it's, if anything, it barely sees them, but it does see them. So Trademark Esports is aware, but they're not really going over. So it's almost as if they're going to concede Kongor, actually.
I think this is actually not bad. I've talked about certain times where Kongor isn't really that big of a deal, honestly, specifically the Token of Life. They're going to get 2 towers out of it. Top lane's going down, or top tower's going down, bottom tower's going down. There goes one. Kongor goes down, but there's the other tower. And they do get some good gold exchange out of that. But yeah, this is one of those teams where I feel like Token of Life is of the utmost importance because they're such a team-oriented team. It's not like all their eggs in the basket of Moon Queen or Dark Lady, and then she can just have free reign. If you kill her, haha, she resurrects again. I mean, it's kind of like that with Torture, I suppose. But again, this is one of those teams where it's just, I really feel not the biggest deal in the world. Obviously, it makes a difference, and it does help.
Of course. But, middle lane, Keizu might be in trouble. Burning Shadow's going to come out from Fade. He did not auto-attack, but will it matter? In comes Empath as well with the wall. Wretched Act joins the party, and, of course, Moon Queen there with the Moonbeam. So Keeper the Force falls. That's only our 5th kill of the game, believe it or not. Here it's now 3-2 hero kill lead for Trademark Esports, but a great pick coming off from them.
Yeah.
And actually, you do see right there, Shrunken Head was just picked up by Moon Queen recently. So she's been quietly doing her own thing, but she's continuing to be the top farm in the game, actually.
And pickoffs are so huge for tdM. And the good thing about it is they can get any pickoff by using any amount of spells onto just even one hero. Because with such a team that's so heavily invested in team fight, you need every single hero there ready to go. So if you pick off one hero, even if it's just like, even if it is the Keeper or just the Pharaoh, you need every one of them. So use all your spells liberally. Get those kills no matter what. And also, Empath, this is one of my favorite things about this hero. She's going for a Tablet of Command. She can still cancel the Tempest Ultimate even if she is inside somebody. So it's an awesome, awesome thing to watch.
Speaking of that, Tempest does have a portal key.
Right.
He just got it. So now him and Magnus, remember, have that synergy in the sense. 1,900 gold more pulled up on Torture. And actually, it looks like they do want to make something happen down here at the bottom lane. So,
no, I don't know if tdM actually wants to fight this. I see Moon Queen already rushing towards the mid. I saw Hag blinking behind her. They still just might go for some trades and fight this in the base. And maybe delay it as long as possible, similar to Game 1.
I was going to say, you think back at Game 1, it's obviously this isn't an exact replicate by any means, but it's a similar idea. It's that you got Stay Green, they have a very push-oriented team. They want to win this sooner than later. And tdM ain't going to let that happen, and that eventually worked out, of course, for Trademark. Granted, it actually became a lot closer than we both did think, especially in the later game stage. But anyways, they are going to give up the towers you mentioned. They're going to try to maybe counter the middle. I don't think it's going to happen, though, depending on, well, actually, Stay Green, they are just going to keep pushing. So, as you put it, fighting at the base, just like that first game. Here we go. Will it be a similar story? Now, I will say the big difference this time around, there's a couple of portal keys here on Stay Green. Remember that first game? They didn't have any really initiation, so they do have a Tempest and a Magnus, both ready to go. Magnus does have the Talisman of the Exile as well, by the way, too. Torture is dropping. Now, Torture doesn't actually have his ultimate either yet. He is level 12, so it's not, I guess, surprising. But it's another thing to point out.
Yeah, not too surprising. That seems to be the normal
There's
thing.
the beast start.
Like, okay, maybe he is going to go for the Icon of the Goddess. He's all in this early game. So that tells me they want to end this like right now.
You're right. So it is an Icon, actually. I was thinking staff, but yeah, it is going to be an Icon.
Does he have the Pickled Brain on it as well? Yes, he does.
He does. Okay, so Icon of the Goddess.
It's actually not a bad. It's not a terrible item on Torture, but
have we ever seen an Icon of the Goddess in a serious game? I don't think we have.
Not sure.
This is the final game of the grand finals of cycle number 4, and we see an item we've never really seen in a serious competitive.
I mean, it fits the style of play that they're going for, though.
Yeah.
It's just like
yeah. Again, I'm not saying it. I'm just pointing out how it's just so odd how it comes out here. But sure enough, okay. So what does Icon of the Goddess do? A lot of regen, a lot of base stats. And, of course, it adds up charges the more kills you get. So we'll see. Again, the Token of Life is still on it for another 3 minutes, kind of using that impalement, not really too worried, doing plenty of damage. But now what the charges do, of course, it actually increases the amount of regen, both in health and mana you gain. So just, again, an idea. As well as it also leaves some... so that's the vision. No, I'm thinking the Sacrificial Stone, where it leaves a marker. Anyways, they're going to, just like Game 1, we're going to see it constantly once again. But like I said, the big difference, they got the portal keys here. And for that matter, they got Pharaoh, who can jump in, of course, too, with his Wrath of the Pharaoh. So is this going to be it? Another wall coming out from Empath. The tower looks like it is going to fall. And actually, they do even get credit for it. So more good news for Stay Green right there. Barracks are exposed.
Yep.
I guess, do you keep knocking on the door, though, if you're Stay Green?
I say why not? You still have that token up there, and you're pushing faster if you remember that Game 1, but they seem to be pushing this a lot more successfully. So I would keep going at it until it looks like you kind of hit a dead, a brick wall.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they have right now.
Yep. Again, they just got the tower with the last creep wave, so here we go with the next one. The Goo obviously doing a lot of work for Master of Arms, but not enough. Gets a little bit of damage there. Can even tank this creep wave again. You just feeling it. It could just happen at any split second. In fact, Master of Arms dropping about half-life, and actually Torture getting caught up there in the midst of it, being in front of the wall. Remember, he has a token. Okay, so he's going to die right here. The Wrath of the Pharaoh hits the creeps right in her face. In comes the Moon Finale. Torture's dropping fast. Torture, will she fall? No, she won't. A great run coming out. There's the eruption. The Moon Queen shrugging at us up, but she's barely staying alive. Wretched Act will finish off Torture in the background. In the meantime, Tempest is going to fall, and Magnus, not much more he's going to be able to do. Cupid the Force on the run. Oh, boy, that just was horrendous for Stay Green. You got to look at that Pharaoh ultimate, though. That was a big part of it.
And on top of that, too, it's not over just yet. Keeper's in a lot of trouble. He gets cornered right here. and he will fall. Huge swing there. Hat trick coming out for Zai. He also used the Pharaoh mummy walls and blocked literally 2 members of his team into them as well. Genocide. I can't believe I thought I would say this, but
dead.
Genocide coming out for Stay Green. And nobody
no,
died. Or, yeah, well, for tdM, they got the Genocide. Yeah, of course. But all 5 members dead for Stay Green. And I just can't believe it.
Again, not only is it five kills, but no one died. I mean, that just even adds up more. Like, wow, yeah, no doubt. I mean, I would like to think Kyle would be the first one to admit that that was a big mistake. It really was, and it happens though. It happens to the best of them, and that's really unfortunate for Stay Green because obviously, if that initiation did connect and the good mummy walls went up, then definitely could have been a lot different. Now, I will say, Torturer did get caught out at a very bad spot, too. It was a great wall from Empath to start off all that, remember, kind of trapping him in there, and eventually used a token of life, and then eventually got cleaned up by Wretched Hag, who chased him down. So,
yeah.
No charges on the Icon of the Goddess, by the way, as a result of what happened there. So, of course, with the no kills, that makes sense. But now here you are, Stay Green. Obviously, you were looking okay. You had your chance there in that push. Now it just got a little bit grimmer. Fade is actually invis right here, trying to find somebody. They scout things out. And actually might get the courier. Oh, there's only a ward on it, so I guess not the biggest deal if he does. Okay, no, he's not going to get it. But meanwhile, up here, a great lava switch done on Wretched Hag and Master of Arms. But Fade being nearby, will he open into Pharaoh? Yes, he will. Pharaoh's going to drop quickly. Will it be enough for the kill? No, it won't, actually. Great power supply. And now Fade's the one. Oh, he's going to tablet over the ledge, though. And Limp will be fine, so... Big time initiation, but no deaths actually happening.
Yeah, had that haste not been onto Pharaoh, then he certainly would have died. But can Fade actually kill the courier in one shot with his ultimate? Is that what you're getting at?
No, I wasn't necessarily even saying that. I was just saying if he wanted to kill the courier, I mean, it happened to be in his path. He could have maybe gone for it. But
I think it takes a couple of auto tests.
I believe it does. Yeah.
I will say though, I'm pretty sure Nomad with his Wanderer or his is that what it's called?
I think so. Yeah.
It kills it in one shot. It's kind of ridiculous.
That's pretty.
Yep.
GG. Don't fly those couriers over Nomad. Learn your lesson.
It might just be out of the invis from like something like a shroud, but I've seen so many times of Nomad just beep one-shotting couriers, and it's like, oh my god, similar to like a scout, but
yeah,
that's not even one-shotting.
All right, so again, look at Moon Queen now. Firebrand just purchased another 2,000 gold saved up, so Noob G feeling pretty good here.
Yeah.
I think Conqueror may be coming up maybe in about 2 or 3 minutes, so it's just a little bit off here for Stay Green perhaps. Portal Key just purchased by Limp, though, on that Fade. So another powerful tool that the Legion team will be able to use. You also talked about the tablet finish on Empath and how important that is, especially on her. So things are coming together beautifully, to say the least, for Trademark Esports. And actually, Wrath of the Pharaoh, that is an illusion, buddy. The Empath illusion baits the Wrath of the Pharaoh, and sure, they kill it quickly, but not much happening there. So that's going to be on cooldown now for another 70 seconds. Again, not the longest cooldown, but did use it right there. Middle push coming out in the meantime from our Legion team. A little bit is Trademark Esports, but realizing pretty quickly they might try to get their base broken into once again, so they'll probably start falling back here. As again, no risk really trying to trade something. So, but Stay Green, I mean, they know it's, you know, really, do they have many more choices than this? They kind of just got to go here and make something happen. They have everything up once again, except the Wrath of the Pharaoh for that matter. It is down for another 35 seconds here, so keep that in mind in terms of initiating. But here we go. Take two.
Take two.
Oh, Magnus stunts in the lava surge on the Moon Queen right there. Where's the follow? Oh, what a burning shadows from Fate actually catches multiple heroes. Moon Queen is dropping. Will it be enough for the kill? No, the defensive master's call. Torture dropping in on the front lines, and Torturer will be turned on. Wretched Hag chasing them back. They went for the all-in kill on the Moon Queen. It did not work, and ladies and gentlemen, your champions for cycle number 4 are going to be Trademark Esports. In the final game of the Grand Finals, they pull through. And that officially does it. Wow. What a series, what a day, what a cycle we had here, Trouf.
Absolutely.
But Trademark Esports are officially, we were right in the end.
We were right.
That's what matters the most. No, Trademark Esports takes out Stay Green 3-2 here in the Grand Finals. But I will say this much, too. Back-to-back Grand Finals now here in the HoN Tour event.
Yeah.
And cycles that have gone all 5 games. Well, 4 games in extent, but you get my point. So That's pretty cool too, honestly.
Yeah, just really well played by Trademark Esports, and also well played by Stay Green coming back. You know, they were down basically essentially 2-0 because of tdM being up 1 game coming from the winners bracket, but being able to take 2 games right after that and in great fashion too. So you can't count them out. They played fantastically. But Trademark, you know, I was wondering whether that they would get in like a moral slump, like if their morale would be so low after losing back-to-back, and then 1 game away, SG could take it. But no, they came back, and it says a lot about that team. It really does.
Yeah. You know, again, you look at the situation, you got a case of, remember back to the picking stage. I mean, Moon Queen was first picked out of the lock pool.
Yeah.
And so, you know, initially, you look at that a little bit, we're both like, wait, what? But that gave, in a sense, Keeper of the Forest and Tempest to Stay Green, which they gladly took, sure, but you know, there was the more you thought about it, and obviously as we kind of saw there in that game, that kind of did, in a sense, screw over Stay Green, where they were forced to really play more of that very aggressive game earlier on, and obviously it just did not work out in the end. I mean, they had their chances for sure. Slicks, especially on the Torture, was farming very well. Again, you do got to look at as there was a Swinamelons moment with the Pharaoh. Let's be honest, that was a big deal too. He completely hit the creep way. The mummy walls, as you put it, really even hurt his home team more than helped. It sucks. Again, it happens to the best of them. He had overall a great series, of course. You can't argue that, and he no doubt is a very, very good player. But you know, again, the moments like that happen. But in the end, Trademark Esports very happy, I'm sure, that they finally get the win here in the series and take it 3-2.
And in the big picture, it puts them in a very comfortable first place in the overall standings for HoN Tour.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's what we talked about again. The standings will be updated eventually here, I believe, at the beginning of the week. I believe by tomorrow even is when they usually get updated. So then we'll get a really good idea of where the points actually are. But yeah, this definitely will kind of help Trademark Esports build a little bit of a gap as far as being in that first place seed amongst the other teams. But you know, with that said, Stay Green will also be in a pretty comfortable second place currently. But again, this is only cycle number 4, guys. We are, again, really only halfway done here when it comes to Season 1 for HoN Tour as far as the cycles go. We still got 4 more cycles to go with the roster changes that have been happening, you know, with clearly showing. So I made the point that back-to-back grand finals now going the distance. We've also had a lot of 3-game series go all 3 games, honestly.
We've had
a lot of them here in the Diamond Division go 3 games. Clearly, competition as a whole is just getting better and better. So
it is, yeah.
It's awesome to see that really in the long run.
I mean, game 1 of this series was one of the better games I've seen in a long time.
Oh,
and despite it being
no doubt.
passive in the sense that there weren't many, hero kills, it was still very fun to watch because honestly, both teams played it so perfect that it became a more passive state. But that was really fun to watch for me, as I'm sure it was for you and the viewers as well. So that was like one of the better games I've seen in a long time. Yeah,
of course, if you missed any of the action, we'll get those VODs up as soon as possible. And you can check it out for yourself as far as not only these earlier games, but of course the first series that we had here today and how this whole cycle and all the HoN Tour coverage that we're putting out there. So, yeah, big shout out to the viewers. I know that we've had a good amount of viewers for most of this cast here today throughout the whole day. So big shout out to you guys for tuning in. You know, glad that we could be here, and this is definitely, you know, what it's all about, really. You know, competitive HoN. We have fun doing what we do, but, you know, we couldn't be here without you guys, of course. So big shout out to you guys for tuning in. Love you all. But again, that does it for another cycle, Ralph. That's it for cycle number 4. It is officially over. Trademark Esports are your cycle 4 champions. That means 3 out of the 4 cycles now have gone to Trademark Esports. Of course, winning the first 2. Stay Green winning the 3rd one. And now we got tdM winning the 4th one. So, again, in a very comfortable first place spot, but still 4 more cycles to go before we eventually head into those HoN Tour Grand Finals. It's going to be a blast. Cannot wait. Anyways, did you have any final words, Ralph?
I don't.
Before?
No.
We look to wrap things up. All right.
It's been a long day, but it's been a very awesome day. So
it has. It definitely has. It's been a mix of the two. Wouldn't have it any other way. So again, that is officially going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Were you able to get an interview by chance? I don't know if you were looking for one. Okay. It's not a big deal. I mean,
I know it's pretty late over there.
It is, obviously, yeah. It's what, 2:30, 2:40 in the morning.
And a big shout out, because I know a lot of our fan base and viewers come from, all over the world. I mean, there's a lot of viewers actually in Thailand that we saw, and then in just America. But I know a lot of them are from specifically Sweden and all parts of Europe. So big shout out to you guys for sticking around and watching until the end.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great point to bring up, especially Thailand. You know, again, we're going to be going there, obviously, at the end of March for that whole GSL event. We're also 2 North American European teams going to be representing our region, but Yeah, it's all fun in the end. So about the interview, so we're not going to have an interview here, it looks like, but we do have our podcast coming up on Friday later on this week, and we'll definitely look to get somebody, of course, at least from tdM, to get their take and reaction ultimately of this series and how this all played out. But all right, well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is officially going to wrap things up for today. And again, for cycle number 4, it's coming to a conclusion. Congratulations to all the teams, and can't wait for cycle number 5 next weekend. Cycle number 5 will start. And we'll go into that one strong, as I said, Friday. Definitely tune into that podcast show that we're doing, the Around the Office podcast. Myself, Trout, joined by Milkfed, and apparently now Beef actually going to be joining us as well as another co-host. So we just talk about competitive HoN, do some interviews, have some fun, and really catch you up in case you missed anything. So that show's on Friday. But before then even, expect some casts possibly to pop up here, specifically Tuesday. I know we plan on perhaps doing something. Whether it's a cast or maybe having a little bit of fun, who knows. But, again, the big coverage, it does continue, starting on Friday with the podcast and the Sound Blaster qualifier finals, and then, of course, into the weekend with cycle number 5.
And, again, congratulations to Mitchell.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, wait, who's that? Yeah, Mitchell, you're right. Mitchell. Of course, Mitchell. Good guy. Guy that won, of course, the trip to DreamHack, or why do I keep saying that? The HoN Tour Grand Finals. We'll be seeing him there in Las Vegas. But again, everyone else that didn't win that contest, NA and EU, you guys will be able to another chance there for the Refer a Friend program. There will be more information on that next weekend, but just stay tuned for that, and there will be another chance to win it. But again, we're wrapping things up here on HoNcast, baby. Another fun day, another fun cycle in the books. But going to continue next week with cycle number 5. So until next time, you can find this guy at Trev HoN.
And at BreakyCPK.
HoNcast, the HoNcast, the HoNcast Facebook. You know it all by now. HoNcast.com, HoNtour.com. Check it all out, baby. We'll see you later on this week, if not next week. And have a good night, guys. Congrats again to tdM.